Pick a card, 1, 2, or 3. Urgent message from your soul. What is your higher self? What are your spirit guides? And you, deep within your intuition, want to say to you. So what does your soul self want to say to your ego self? Pick a card, 1, 2, or 3. So if you are resonating more with the coin bracelet, one of my bracelets I always wear, pick number 1. If you are resonating more with the gold bangle, pick number 2. If you are resonating more with the silver bangle, pick number 3. And we will begin. Message number 1. If you chose message number 1, which was the coin bracelet that I wear a lot, message number 1 states, the message from your soul is, and I'm only using 2 cards each for these because I don't feel like we need a lot of cards for these messages. Simplicity is sometimes better. Your message is that you are being divinely guided and watched at all times, even if you don't feel like you are. Your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors are with you. They're saying that the things that you desire for a reason, because they are powerful with the Magician. The things that you want deep in your soul that you've been craving for a long time or yearning for, they are not there just so that you can want them the rest of your life. They're there because you're meant to have them. You're meant to achieve them. All good things come in time. Sometimes it doesn't happen as instantly as we would want. We need to use temperance and patience and understanding because it's in those times that the door has a chance to open. So it's like one of those scenarios, for instance, when, I'll give an example. You're looking for a job or a relationship, and it's a very particular type of job or relationship you want. And you keep going on bad date or bad interview or bad date or bad interview. You get the drift, like over and over again. The reason is because it's not right now. The right person or the right thing is meant to open up for you, but not right now. And in temperance, we get to know ourselves better. We gain a deeper spiritual understanding of ourselves, our connection to our guides, to the universe, to our higher self, to the very meaning of what it is to be human or to be a spirit having a human experience. Because if you are truly spiritual and you do resonate on the 5th dimension, you know that we are souls first and foremost and bodies second. And that is what you gain a better understanding of in those times of pause. It's getting to know yourself better, going sometimes through those dark nights of the soul, and really understanding clearly within if what you desire is really truly what your spirit wants, or it's just a fear of the ego of not having enough. Now, the ego is not always bad. I want to stress that. The Magician actually is quite tied to both the soul and the ego because it's about those things that we want. We want to create, wealth, love, whatever it is, security, abundance, right? Ego's not always bad, but it's when it leads us too much into something that maybe we don't truly want, where we have to take a step back and check that. So sometimes those periods of waiting can be a blessing because that's what they're giving to you. That's what they're teaching you. So it may be a little tough to wait, but your guides, your higher self, your spirit, your soul is saying it's going to be worth it. Because that person or that job or that house that you're looking for, whatever it is, on the call line I work for, I get a lot of calls about new property, new relationships, new jobs. Sometimes it's that waiting period, that time of temperance we go through because that manifestation is just around the corner, but it's that door has to open. Maybe the person has to quit their job to open up a position. Maybe the right house needs to be sold first. Maybe the owner passes away in the right house for you. And now I don't mean in a bad way. Maybe they're old and they pass away of old age, right? Maybe, the person that you want to be with is still in a karmic connection and they're waiting to meet you, their soulmate. So temperance is valuable. Don't push against it. Don't try to resist it. Embrace it for what it is. And you will see that the manifestation that you can create through the Magician will come more easily, flow more peacefully, and the things that you create will be more than you expected because you embrace this time of temperance. if you chose message number 2, that's the gold bangle. Message number 2, the gold bangle. Your spirit wants you to know. I don't do reversals anymore, guys, if you know, on this channel. Your spirit wants you to know. Wow. Okay. Take a chance on this. Take a chance on fully embracing commitment, whatever commitment is for you right now in your life. Passionately go towards it with your 100% or maybe 90% at least all, because maybe not everything's 100%, but at least 90%, okay? Go forward with it with your all, what that means to you. What does putting your all into something mean? Whether this is a relationship commitment, or it's embracing a new job, embracing a new location you move to. There's something that is, you're being surrounded by balanced wands on either side, right? There's equal wands on either side, 4 of wands. So you've got 2 here, 2 there. That talks about stability. It talks about togetherness. It talks about commitment. And this talks about passion. This is one of my favorite cards. It's actually kind of a phallic card too, but it probably taps into my masculine energy. Every man, every woman has masculine and feminine energy, yin yang, whatever you want to call it. Goddess and God, feminine, masculine, dark and light. Everybody has those energies. And this energy is particularly divine masculine. And when I say divine masculine, I mean like divine feminine, the good masculine, not toxic masculinity. Just like there is toxic femininity, right? The moon would be considered like an example of that, toxic feminine with positive feminine mixed together, the moon card. So this is the divine masculine card. And this is saying passion, direction, insight, intellect. Put your all into this. Your spirit, right? Spirit is masculine, soul is feminine. Spirit is very much connected to the mind and the crown chakra. So this talks about not giving up, putting your all into whatever this is you're being asked to commit to. Is it a relationship? And maybe you've been scared of relationships. Is it a new job? And maybe you thought, oh, the other shoe's going to drop. What if something happens at this job? Maybe it's a new location and you're not so keen on it right now, but you don't hate it. Put your all into this, into loving who or what it is that you're being given this opportunity for. Because you will be surrounded and embraced by spirit. Your guides also want to put their arms around you. Thank you, Munso. And they want to say, we're embracing you. We're there with you. Just take this chance. And part of taking this chance is letting go a little bit. It's not holding on like this. You know, sometimes I'll say this too. Sometimes I notice, you know, our body language can show constrictions, right? Or when we're feeling tense or anxious, when you do this, or your knuckles are white, you know, and you press down hard on things, or you pull your knuckles like that, that's a symptom of anxiety. Instead of doing this, do this, you know, right? Instead of rock, you know, rock, paper, scissors, do paper. Just let go to some extent. It doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. In the divine masculine teaches us excellent boundaries. That is part of one of the good qualities of divine masculine energy. It's being able to say no, knowing what's right for you, and know when to say yes as well. And this is telling you to go forward, say yes, say yes. Have your boundaries, but say yes, and you're going to fall into this beautiful, or you're going to land, not fall, into this beautiful, protected, secure, stable place that you've wanted for a long time. And that's when you fully put your all into this new experience. Okay? And so if you chose the silver bangle, message number 3, the silver bangle, your message is, I like doing just 2 card messages. I feel like it's a lot easier to really focus on one thing. Oh boy. You know, this is interesting. I did a video the other day at the beach for message number 3. Hi, Kelly. And when I was at the beach, I got these same cards, or at least this one for number 3. And I didn't put the video up because the sound didn't come out good. There was too much wind and I didn't want to torture you guys trying to listen to me. So I said, let's do one of those card videos like this. These are better, I think, for pick a cards, because you can really see what's going on. It's interesting. This is coming up again for number 3. Okay, so if you've resonated with the silver bangle or message number 3, this This talks about the pain that you've gone through or the pain you are currently experiencing. I'm not going to lie, the Ten of Swords is one of the most difficult emotional cards of this deck. It's one of the most treacherous, depressing. I don't want to say negative because all of life can be negative and positive. So negative is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means it's a thing that you go through sometimes, right? You've been through some pain. Either that or you're going through some pain. This person is literally like defeated. They feel like their soul has shriveled. They are laying underneath a tree with no leaves and a gray sky with no sunlight in sight. But next to this card, it's very interesting what came up this time, because last time I did this on the video I didn't put up. I don't think it was the Queen of Swords. It was another positive card, but it wasn't the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is here. And you know, as I always say, yes, she represents Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, but these cards also represent an archetype. I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm sorry to hear that. She's also an archetype of strength, right? Out of all of the queens. And it doesn't mean it has to just be an air sign, because if we talk archetypally, this could be anybody who's watching. She is like the bad bitch of the tarot deck, right? And her counterpart, the King of Swords, is like the boss, you know, like, I've got my shit together. I don't take any BS from anybody. I'm doing what I need to do, and you can come with me or I'm going to leave you behind, right? Look at the way she looks in this, too. She's not necessarily settled and in that fertility energy of the, you know, let's say the Queen of Pentacles. Not that everybody who's Queen of Pentacles has children, but there's a very nurturing energy about the cups and the pentacles, whereas it's more of a masculine energy with the swords and the wands. But it's not even about masculine, feminine energy here. It's just about, in a sense, it is about masculine energy, because it's about putting your direction, your thoughts forward and going for it. And she's saying, I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm not going to let this take me down. I'm not going to let this, you know, let me lay here in this defeated sense all the time. There's still other things in my life to do. There's still other experiences to have. And this could be for men watching too. This could be the King of Swords. If a man watches this, I don't want anybody who's male to feel left out too. The King and Queen of Swords are very similar. It's like that, I won't let life get me down. I know I still have a lot to achieve and do, and I have a purpose and a direction, right? So it's kind of like, not to be corny, and I don't really know what sign he was, but it doesn't really matter, because this doesn't have to be sign specific, as I said, but it's like that Viktor Frankl book, Man's Search for Meaning. That's my favorite book on my therapy background that I learned about when I was in my master's degree. And that is all about finding meaning out of the difficult times in life. He found meaning through being a Holocaust victim and escaping death at Auschwitz. So that whole premise is about, what meaning do you find to move forward? What meaning gives you purpose? And she finds her own meaning, and that gives her direction away from this. And I also like how, because I only do uprights, the way the cards ended up when I took them out is that she's turning away from this, you see. And I don't think that this is her not acknowledging the pain. She's come a long way, and she doesn't make apologies for who she is or what she went through or what he went through, if this is the King of Swords. He or she just says, this happened, but I'm going to move on. It's acknowledging this happened. It's not, and the previous therapist in me, I can't say I'm doing this as a therapist, but the therapist in me wants to say, yes, this is exactly the healthy way to do this, because you don't want to ignore this. She's not turning her back on it necessarily. She's moving on from it, because you want to be able to say, okay, this was shitty what happened. It sucked. I hated it. I felt depressed. And now I'm moving forward. And now I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to keep going in my direction of where I'm meant to go, and nobody's going to stop me. So it's saying, don't let these negative energies stop you. Don't let this pain stop you. Don't let this darkness stop you. And this also collectively can apply to what's been going on the past 2 years. How I've said we've been under a spell and emotional abuse by the media for the past 2 years. I mean, if anybody's watched the news, we have been cast under this darkness for 2 years based on what they have been putting into the collective. Even if you don't watch the news, the energy of others around you will affect you if you're an empath. And so if they've been watching the news and they're affected by it, it's affecting you too. So on a collective level, this even applies to everybody probably watching. Don't ignore the pain. Don't ignore the negativity. Just process it. Say, okay, this happened. I'm stronger because of it, and move on. And you are going towards your dreams in the direction you see yourself in. And not even just your dreams, but just in a new direction. Like, okay, what comes next, Spirit? What comes next, God? What comes next, Goddess? Show me. And then you're going forward. So message number 3, that's a pretty amazing connection. I really like doing readings this way because I think I interpret the cards a bit differently this way. So anyways, thank you all for commenting. I do hope everything gets better, Kelly. I just want to say bright blessings, and may you be surrounded by protective, Archangel Michael, blue light energy, healing Raphael energy. And may you always know your truth through the Archangel Gabriel. And may you always feel comfort through Uriel. And that goes for everybody who's watching. Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, surround everybody who's watching with protective white light energy and direction within their life and purpose, and allow them not to push away their pain, but to process it and move beyond it, because it's something that we all go through at some points in our lives, and it's not that you should stay there, but it's not anything to be ashamed of or feel bad about. So thank you for watching, you guys. And if you want to go get your own reading, go to naomitarot1199@gmail.com. You can ask me questions there or go to my website. And if you want to see inside information further about what I was talking about with the media and all that, and what I feel like is coming next, I'm going to be doing a video on Patreon today about that. There's already one up. I'm doing them slowly this month, sorry. There's one up this month about Harry and Meghan and how they feel after the birth and the child's messages, Lilibet's messages. And also there's another video on there saying who she is the reincarnation of. And I feel that she's a reincarnation of a very famous member of the royal family. So thank you guys for watching. And I will talk to you later. Bye.